Welcome to the 41st edition of the Gen Z Frequency, where we dive into the world of youth market and creator economy news you can use. I'm Greg Witt, joined by Hayden Miller, youth market specialist, pop culture fanatic, and a damn good trends writer.
Thank you so much, Greg. I'm so stoked to be here. Here's a quick rundown of the key topics we're covering this week. Number one, our spotlight. Number two, inspiration. 3, we're hitting some youth strategy. 4, our youth empowerment corner. 5, we got some great industry news bites. And 6, we got a self-audit for you. Now, let's move on to our featured article. Moving on from MrBurger and what brands and creators can learn from MrBeast's decision. Wow, this is huge for MrBeast, and this headline highlights such an important insight. Greg, can you share with us what this means for creators and brands and why it should matter to our audience?
What I would say first and foremost is that, as with any partnership, it's always about striking a good fit. It's always about having a good fit between any kind of partner. I know that all the buzz is around a creator economy, but let's face it, it's not really a creator economy. It's a creator market space. It's a creator industry that needs to have a symbiotic relationship with industries in general. So in this case, with restaurants, or it can be with fashion labels, whatever. So I think the key for the takeaway here for creators is, of course, always taking the time in any partnership to find a good fit. But most importantly is to understand that there's certain assets, certain relationships, certain infrastructure that bigger brands or certain technologies have where it makes sense, or distribution, it makes sense for creators to partner, that they don't have to do it alone. They don't always have to scale their business when it starts to grow alone. All the way down from, at the beginning, it's Shopify, it's the platforms. But as you scale to even a fraction of the size of MrBeast, you have to be open to say there's certain types of infrastructure that I can get from partners, and take the time to review, even if you don't have agents, to think about how to get a good fitting partnerships. Now, spin this the other way around. What can brands do? Well, most brands have been doing, many brands in many categories have been doing sponsorship for years, right? I'm going to talk more about sponsorship later, but I think the key here is for brands not to take advantage of creators, right? It's for brands to create their own infrastructure, their own programs that are really nurturing creators and creating a more of a place that is attracting creators as a sort of an integral piece of their business. And again, looking at this as an economy that is a symbiotic relationship between creators, brands, fans/customers. And then you have a win-win. I mean, the rest of this here is really MrBeast's story to tell, but I think that's the observation that we have here as we collectively think with WITT.
And just to add, like you said, brands must navigate and face those challenges of identifying, engaging, and maintaining the relationships with those creators, and while also making sure that that collaboration aligns with their identity and their values. So in this case, brands have been missing the mark for a long time, thinking a one-off influencer campaign or post is going to impact the brand. So, Greg, what does this quote here mean for our readers? How does it apply?
Well, there's a thread here. If you think of like a lot of the buzz that's been around, of course, we unfortunately missed VidCon this year attending, but a lot of the buzz at VidCon from a lot of the creators and brands that were there that I've spoke to is about this move away from transactional relationship with creators, one-off campaigns, shout outs, quick, fitting or non-fitting placements in creators' content that's either like really rough and doesn't really seem to fit at all. And I think that's again, really what this quote's saying is, if you were going to summarize this quote, because I'm not going to read it, everyone can read this on their own, it's just really about forming relationships that are going to go deeper, be more relevant, be interesting, and be longer lasting, because that's how you're going to really impact change, sales, awareness, whatever your objective and KPIs are.
1,000%. So moving on, we got the youth and creator marketing strategy talk, unraveling the origins of influencer marketing, engaging youth culture at the source. Who are influence partners? Where do they come from? And what 4 qualities do good ones have in common?
I go again. Here I am. Yeah, this is our first time narrating the newsletter, so we're actually, this is pretty fun. Like when you read this particular story, in direct answer to you, Hayden, on that, I think it's always important for us as marketers and like companies or professionals to remember, like, what is influencer marketing? We say influence partners because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is influence impact, influence change, influence some kind of an engagement that has value. And that comes from respected leaders in their field, specialists in their area of interest or talent, and just interesting people, interesting creative people in youth relevant communities in many different positions and roles. And then, of course, like creators of original content. And when you pair all that together, you have the recipe of somebody who's probably going to be helpful for your brand. But if you look at the like, I don't want to read this article because what's kind of interesting are some of the key points that bring you back to the roots of influencer and creator marketing. I'm not gonna touch on that because I think that that's its own interesting read in and of itself. But when you look and date back the origins of influencer marketing to 1905, potentially before that, and then in its most common sense of the word with the partnership between Run DMC and Adidas in 1986 is one thing, is a mindset of sponsorship. So for brands that have been sponsoring athletes, various different creative people, they understand sponsorship. And for all the rest of the world, or the rest of this, in quote, creator economy, like, giving a nod to what I've said earlier about that, and is to think in terms of sponsorship. And one takeaway for everyone, when you think in terms of sponsorship, by the nature of sponsorship, you're already integrating, considering, and then mapping value, points of value, quality, exposure, the right fan base that you're reaching. And when you look at sponsorship, it's a relationship over time. Like, you wouldn't sponsor an athlete, or most of the time you wouldn't sponsor an athlete just for the Olympics or just for the X Games. Well, that shit doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add enough value for the amount that the brand's investing. So when you put the sponsorship hat on, you start to have a paradigm change in how you look at creator or influence marketing in general. And that's really the takeaway here, other than if you read it, it's an interesting story.
Yeah, well, that was amazing. Speaking on influence and content creators, we have our Youth Empowerment Corner with Max Reisinger. Now, Max is a content creator and co-founder of Creator Camp, where he serves as a educator for young students, growing content creators who want to explore this industry and create content. I think he would be a great contender for a partnership, someone looking to empower young creators. And if you are a creator, an excellent source of inspiration. We are absolutely stoked for Max. And I loved reading on him because in my childhood, there were so many creators who really inspired me to get into this industry and, yeah, just educated me about what it was really like to be in that position as an educator and influencer in that sense. Moving on to our news bites, we're going to kick things off with VidCon, one of the biggest events in the creator and youth marketing space. It's an incredible gathering of industry leaders, influencers, and passionate young creators. What do we got to say about this one, Greg?
Yeah, I guess I just want to repeat that, like, not being there, but like having so many different conversations sort of during and after the event with attendees is just so much of it. Once again, has been the recommendations, the advice coming out of VidCon is again reinforcing longer term integration, in longer term relationships where the integration can more organically fit between sort of what's happening in the lives of the creators and then what's happening for the sort of business and brand and content streams of companies in general. So I think it's just once again reinforcing some of the messages that we've already been covering.
Yeah, 1,000%. For years, we've watched collaborations, our favorite creators meet up at VidCon, and it's just so amazing that it's still going on and it's still happening, especially, you know, after the pandemic. It's still a thing and people are still meeting up and celebrating creators. So moving on, we have our hashtag influencer partnerships. Emma Chamberlain is following in the footsteps of Hailey Bieber as Chamberlain Coffee launches a collaboration smoothie with Erewhon. Is this the start of limited/celebrity influencer collaborations for the high-end grocery store, Erewhon?
Nothing surprises me anymore. It's like the weirder it gets, the better and smarter it is. In my
oh, yes, seriously. Moving on, we have hashtag AI. YouTube is getting AI-powered dubbing. Looks like MrBeast will not be the only global creator now. Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, I think like it's important to note that YouTube has and still continues to be on the cutting edge of the AI technologies that all of these social platforms are advancing right now. And this is going to be super exciting over even the next 3 months to see the advancements from each of the top platforms.
Oh, yes. Hashtag nostalgia. The iconic Furby is back.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Hasbro is taking our fluffy and eccentric friends back from the death, but now they come with some new interesting features for the kids today. Gotta love Furbies, right?
Bring the Furby.
Hashtag creator economy. YouTube is undergoing an apparent transition. Just like MrBeast-esque creators have had their moment to shine, there comes a YouTube new wave. That's going to be a good read. Hashtag creator brand. On Creator News, Smosh co-founders Anthony Padilla and Ian Heckox reunite to acquire comedy brand from Rhett and Link. Smosh is back. Oh my gosh, I used to watch Smosh. That is, yes, but oh, the nostalgia. Seriously, it's there.
Stoked.
Oh my gosh, that just hit hard. One of the streaming platform's biggest creators is leaving for Kick after Twitch tries to navigate the backlash of their intent to add new, intensely controversial monetizing regulations. Interesting.
It should be hashtag platforms be fair.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it should. Because platforms should be fair. Hashtag viral content. Viral content has become a so wanted pillar to grasp from brands. But what is the truth behind it all? Some exceptional insights from YouTube's head of culture and trends in Colin and Samir's newest video. Take a drink and some snacks. This one's good. Glastonbury 2023, the music festival for millennials, is now being taken over by Gen Zers, having sustainable fashion at the center stage of the musical weekend. Take a look at how Gen Z is transforming fashion in music festivals. I love that. And I dream of going to Glastonbury one day. Yeah,
absolutely.
Hashtag luxury fashion. Streetwear merging with luxury in an effort to appeal to youth audiences. Looks to have been a brilliant move by Louis Vuitton, as their first collection with Pharrell Williams as creative director seems to have been a success. I watched that. It was absolutely beautiful. I don't know about you, Greg.
You know my perspectives on streetwear and luxury, where it clashes, where it's cool, where it's who that knows. But you know what? It's enabling some significant innovation, and people buy the stuff that they relate to, no matter what. And it's just expanding. It's just getting more people. Like I don't know. It's a good thing overall. Yeah.
Yes.
So
oh my gosh, I
digress.
Hashtag fast fashion. Shein invited a few creators for a factory tour, and the influencers' followers' reaction, as you may expect, were definitely not good. I cannot expect how that went. That is going to be a good read. Take us through the self-audit, please.
Okay, well, welcome to the self-audit. We like to be about action. We want to make you think. So this is the Youth and Creator Marketing Challenge. This is how it works. If you're new to reading the newsletter, give each question a no, a yeah, or a hell yeah. No is a 0, yeah is 5 points, and hell yeah is 10 points with a maximum of 25 points. So when you're putting your influencer or creator marketing hat on, in the conference room, planning room, or wherever you do what you do. Number one, do you know what creators are actually interesting to your targeted consumer base or audience that you serve? Number two, do you have a compelling value proposition that attracts creators beyond just cash payouts and having them having another gig? Are you fostering relationships with influential creators in ways that engage them beyond a campaign and posting content? When creators work with you, are they excited to tell other creators and fans about the experience of working with your brand? I think that one's like a super interesting test. And do you even know that? Does your work with creators positively impact your brand? And if you say yes, how do you really know? So if you score 25 points, you're probably doing something right. If you scored less than that, well, give us a call. We can help you craft an engagement strategy or
give us a call.
A creator strategy that goes far beyond the one-off campaign.
Now let's run it up. We are stoked you've tuned in to the Gen Z Frequency newsletter. If you enjoyed what you heard today, we encourage you to hit the subscribe button and share it with colleagues or friends who would find it valuable. Stay tuned for more youth market and creator economy news you can use. We'll be back next week with fresh perspectives on all things youth culture and creator marketing. Thank you, and until next time, peace.